Insperity presents the Small Business Advocate Show with Jim Blasingame, brought to you by FedEx, CareerBuilder.com, and Palo Alto Software. This is a copyrighted production of Small Business Network, Inc., all rights reserved.
And now, back to the man who thinks Wall Street could learn a thing or two about how business is done on Main Street.
Well, if the good Lord don't like the way I conduct business, let him say something. Let him give me a sign.
Jim Blasingame, the Small Business Advocate.
Welcome back, 34 after the hour. Thank you very much for joining me. Thanks for hanging out with me. Always a pleasure to continue to be with you. Our good friend Gerald Celente is back on the show, ladies and gentlemen. Gerald is an original founding member of our Brain Trust. In fact, this May, he will be celebrating his 15th anniversary with us. We're going to get him back, if not before, certainly that month, and celebrate his 15th anniversary. He was our first trend tracker to ever be on the show. I think he's a futurist, but he says he's a trends tracker. He's the author of the TrendsJournal, which is a quarterly publication that's just getting bigger and better every quarter. I've been telling you about that now for a long time. His book, Trends 2000, was a prophecy, and he's here with some very interesting perspectives on peace. Gerald Celente, welcome back to the show.
Oh, wow, 15 years.
How about that?
I guess we were both kids, huh?
I know, we were just children when we started, Gerald, but it's been my pleasure to tell my audience about you all these years and to continue to see how accurate your forecasts are and the trends that you track and tell us about, and it's been fascinating to watch. So, folks, and I'll remind you that Gerald is he's a truth teller, so you buckle your seatbelts and pull them tight. Gerald, your main theme for your new journal is called 4 Rules of Peace. Tell us about that.
The reason for that, Jim, is we're seeing a parallel that history is repeating itself just differently. And you go back to the crash of 1929. It was followed by the Great Depression, currency wars, trade wars, World War. The Panic of '08. We're in a depression.
Mm-hmm.
And when you go to you go to Spain, you go to Greece, you go to Portugal, you go to Ireland, go to Italy, go to Slovenia, and go around a lot of the United States. There's a depression going on, and there are currency wars. And you don't have to listen to me. Listen to the head of the Bank of England, Mervyn King. There's a currency war. Look what's going on over in Japan with their new Prime Minister Abe.
Mm-hmm.
They're lowering interest rates now and pumping money into the system. In Japan, there's a currency war, his words. You listen to Guido Montega of Brazil. They're lowering the currencies around the world, debasing them so exporters could sell more of their product to other countries.
Right.
There's a currency war.
Well, the U.S. has been doing it for years.
Exactly.
And we've been complaining about China.
Exactly. And China, China the same thing. There's a currency war. Now there's trade wars heating up, and we're concerned that they're going to take us to world war. And again, you received the TrendsJournal. There was a story, my story in the beginning of it. Remember, this is 60 pages, no advertising. And I mentioned that what was going on in Mali, that there was now threats, and I took a quote from the Christian Science Monitor, of payback. Not a day later, the Algerian hostage crisis broke out, and the reason was it was payback for what France is doing in Mali.
Mm-hmm.
So what we're saying is that these world leaders have a wonderful way of getting us into war, and they only make things worse. And I know your boy was in Iraq when it first broke out, and look what a disaster that turned out to be. Accomplished nothing other than killing about an estimated million people, spending $1 trillion. We're still there at many different levels.
More than 4,000 of our own.
More than 4,000 of our own troops. Same thing with Afghanistan, another loser. So Gerald Celente's 4 Rules of Peace, because these people. Oh, how about that little humanitarian mission? Remember that one in Libya?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it turned out beautifully, didn't it?
Yeah,
they destabilized the entire northern Africa. So anyway, my 4 rules of peace. If you pick a fight, you fight the fight. You want to call yourself Commander-in-Chief, Prime Minister, or Chancellor, and you say that you lead the forces, go lead the forces. Mm-hmm. Saddle up. If it was good enough for Alexander the Great, William the Conqueror, and George Washington, it should be good enough for you.
So you're saying the rule number one in your 4 rules of peace, and we'll get to the others in a little bit, is if the world leader wants to declare war or do something that could cause a war, be prepared to strap on a uniform and a weapon and get out there and fight. That's
right. And even before that, I hear Obama say, or Netanyahu said we got to get rid of Ahmadinejad, and I hear Obama saying Assad must go. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's have a world leader face-off, a takedown match.
I like that. That would be interesting. I think America's in this reality TV America. We probably would pay money for that. Hold on to that thought. Gerald Celente and I will come back after these messages. 3 more rules of peace. Welcome back. It's 17 till. I'm Jim Blasingame. Thank you very much for hanging out with me. Thanks for being part of my day. Having a great visit with our good friend Gerald Celente. Gerald is the author of Trends 2000. It's a book that keeps on giving. He's the editor and publisher and writer of the TrendsJournal, a significant quarterly magazine that really will help you to. It'll jolt you out of your complacency. It'll wake you up a little bit and give you some insights into what's coming at us in the future. Some pretty extreme ideas sometimes. Like Gerald, your first idea for the 4 rules of peace. Your first rule is, if Obama and Netanyahu want to pick a fight with Assad and Ahmadinejad, they should just go strap on a uniform and pick up a weapon and go fight them.
That's right. Leave us out of it. That's the way they see it. Fine. Really. I'm a close combat martial artist.
Yeah.
I call somebody out, I take them out. I don't tell somebody else to go do it. No, these people shoot their mouths off and get us into trouble really fast, and we could balance the budget with this. And we have it on pay-per-view, like you said. Put them in the Arena di Verona over there in Italy, the old amphitheater, and let them go at it, rather than sending other people to go do their losing deeds. And rule number 2 is, if you're for war and you can't go fight the war, you pay for the war.
Ah.
So if you're too infirm or old and you want to go fight it, then you pay for it.
Explain how that would. Give us a little more detail on how that would.
Well, for example, we have you want to go for you want the war, but you don't want to go fight it. You pay a war tax. Support what you believe in.
Right.
If you don't believe it, you should not be forced to pay for it, and that's rule number 3. Rule number 3 is that if we're going to go to war, let the people vote.
Well, let's hold on. Come back to 2 first. So if all right, you and I are both too old to go to war, and if you're saying if I believe in that the country should go to war, that I should write a check for that?
That's right.
Okay. What if I don't believe it? We should go to war.
Don't pay.
Okay, I got you.
Just to make
isn't that a variation on number 3?
That is, because number 3 is direct democracy in the sense of let the people vote. Why should we have a gang of 535 senators and congressmen represent 315 million people?
But that's what we have, Gerald. We have a representative democracy. We don't have a real democracy, a true democracy. We have a representative democracy.
Well, and I like that term that you use. Who do they represent?
Yeah.
They represent the people that give them the most amount of money and have the most amount of power.
Of course, part of the problem we've had in the last several years, decades, is not so much what Congress has been willing to do, what the president has taken.
Well, again, that's another part of it. So again, and look, they went into Libya without even asking Congress.
Right. That's my point.
Yeah. So let the people vote. The burden of the war falls on our shoulders.
Do you think America should have more polling opportunities?
Not polling opportunities. Let's do what they do over in Switzerland.
Just
a direct democracy.
What do they do? How do they do it?
They have a referendum. You want to vote? You want this? You want that? Look,
but that's my point. That's my point. Do you think we should have more of those in America? Not just about war, but about other things.
About everything. You want to bail out the banks? Let the people vote.
That's my point. Is should we? And we now have the technology to pull this off, don't we?
Well, look, if we could bank online, we certainly could vote online.
Well, and not only, and I can see where there are issues that you'd want to pay attention to, but I've been thinking a lot about this, Gerald. I think you're onto something, because more and more, waiting 6 years between senators and 2 years between congressmen and women and 4 years between presidents, and the only other way that they know what's going on are these stupid polls. I think referendi, I guess you'd say. I believe those would. I think we probably need to start doing that more.
And one of our TrendsJournals a year ago, we did it all on direct democracy.
Right.
Why it works.
So, for example, I'll give you a classic example would be Obamacare.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, if Obamacare had been put to the referendum, it would have failed.
It would have failed. Let the people vote. We don't have a representative form of government. The only people they represent are the people that give them money.
The lobbyists. Yes.
Yeah. And I love the white shoe boy language they use. Campaign contributions.
Yeah.
Where I come from in the Bronx, they call them bribes and payoffs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, I do believe that we've got to take back our country, Gerald.
Oh, yeah.
I think you're onto something here. I'm not sure what variation we wind up with, but I definitely think that regular Main Street America, small business America, has got to take back our country, not only from Washington, Gerald, and you heard me say this before, but also from Wall Street.
Oh, yeah. Look, I mean, you follow my work over the years,
yep.
and 4 words, have killed this country. This isn't capitalism. Too big to fail? What, the small businesses are too small to save?
So think about this. I mean, what's wrong with this picture? The stock market is about to go to a record high with 24 million Americans unemployed, and the last quarter of GDP was negative. What's wrong with that picture, Gerald?
Exactly. All the money's flowing to the top.
Yeah.
This isn't, we're old enough to remember when there were really small businesses everywhere. I'm up in Colonial Kingston, New York, 2 hours north of New York City. The little town in here is beautiful. Everyone knows everyone, and we all try to do business with each other.
Gerald, hold on to that thought. I got to take a quick break. When we come back, Gerald's going to talk to us about the 4th rule of peace, which has something to do with something very old and very classic and very beautiful. Tintail, stay with us. Little Dan Fogelberg bringing us back. I'm Jim Blassingame. Thank you very much for staying with me. My website is smallbusinessadvocate.com. Please check it out when you get a chance. Have a great visit with our good friend Gerald Celente, one of the smartest guys I know, the founder and the author and the publisher of the TrendsJournal, an outstanding quarterly magazine that I encourage you to check out. Gerald, give us the website, please.
TrendsJournal.com. TrendsJournal.com.
Be sure to check it out. The books, Trends 2000, I helped Gerald launch back in 1998. It's still something you want to read for the prophecy, if nothing else. Gerald, thanks again for hanging out with us. We've been talking about the 4 rules of peace that are the main theme of your current TrendsJournal. The first one is you think world leaders ought to be prepared to suit it up and lead their men and women into the battle. Second one is if you want a war, be willing to pay for it. Third, if we're going to go to war, let's make sure that we have a referendum, let the people vote on it. But the 4th one is a little bit different. Tell us about the 4th one.
Well, like you said,
the 4th rule of peace.
Old as the Bible and before.
Older, yeah.
Yep. The golden rule: do unto others as you would have them do unto you. So if you attack a country for whatever reason you give, expect payback. And, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. So when they retaliate, don't call them terrorists or militants or guerrillas or, crazy people that hate our freedom and liberty. Call it getting even.
Well, one thing, though, do you think America has a role as the not the perfect guy in the world, but one of the good guys in the world. You think America, with our size and our good intentions generally, you think we have a role to play as a police officer for the world?
Absolutely not. I believe in the founding fathers. I believe in Jefferson. I believe in Washington. I believe in Franklin. I believe in Madison. I don't believe in Clinton, Bush, and Obama.
Yeah.
Who made this stuff up? For our good. Look, do you think they would have been in Iraq and Libya?
What do you think
no,
about...
let me finish. Do you think they would have been in Iraq, you said good intentions, or Libya, if their major export was broccly?
Yeah, I was thinking more of World War II. What do you think about that?
Well, that's a different thing.
Okay. That's my point, is I'm asking.
You know, we were attacked, you know?
Okay. Yeah.
But,
Hitler didn't attack us, so what do you think about that?
Well, again, that was part of the Axis, and they were in business with Japan.
Okay.
So and now you read my book Trends 2000 that I wrote in 1996, and I wrote about you'd wake up in the new millennium and Crusades 2000 was raging.
Right.
Nobody was saying that, and I gave the reasons why.
You did.
So, you know, let's call what now, I mean, we're all over now, 35 countries in South Africa. Eisenhower warned us that the military-industrial complex was taking over this is a 5-star general, Supreme Commander of the Allied Forces, a man qualified to be Commander-in-Chief.
He warned us. You're right. The last thing he said was, beware of the military-industrial complex.
They're going to rob us of the future of our children, the genius of our scientists, and the sweat of our labor. We got a lot of problems right here. What are they sending, $350 million now to Syria? How about sending it to Detroit? How about sending it to me?
Why did we send F-16s to Egypt?
I know. Billions. Billions. I mean, this is out of control. And I'm a political atheist, by the way. I don't take sides. I don't believe in political religions. And I don't bow to political gods.
Do you think we should help Israel defend itself?
No. They're on their own. Everybody's on your own. You're on your own. You pick a fight. You start a fight. You know, look, I'm Italian. If my money was going to go anywhere, I'd send it to Italy, and I don't want to send it there.
Do you think that if a country's trying to pledge democracy, that we should help them pledge that?
No, it's their business. I stay out of your life, you stay out of mine. We got a lot of problems right here in the United States.
Isn't isolationism a danger?
It's not isolationism. It's not getting. It's living by the principles that our founding fathers put in place. Who are these people to change the rules? Look, they've abrogated our constitutional rights, and you know it as a fact, one after another.
Yeah. I told you, ladies and gentlemen, I told you to buckle up. Gerald, it's always fun, always informative, always provocative to have you on the show. Thank you for your voice. Thank you for the courage that you have and for the work that you do.
Well, thank you, and thank you for having me on, and all the best.
As always. And we're going to get you back again in a couple of months and celebrate that 15th anniversary.
Okay, bye-bye.
Gerald Celente, ladies and gentlemen, I told you, I warned you, didn't I? We'll get Gerald back another day. He sure makes you think, doesn't he? I got to go for this hour. I'm Jim Blasingame, the Small Business Advocate. I'll see you later.